watched the podcast after the shows, and they told us that they cut the scene where Rakes helps Marion pack up the house and move and stuff. Right. So all we knew was that he waived his fee and he gave her a ride to the train station. Right. And she thanked him because it was so early in the morning. Right. All right, cool. We said she doesn't have any male family members to rely on. Right. However, this is the attorney who settled your father's estate. You're talking to him as though you have just met. You don't have any friends?
That's it. I mean, she didn't say bye to her best girlfriend. She didn't seem to care about that poor little lady who was scooting back and forth to the kitchen. Right. I don't know what happened to her life.
You had some kind of maid right. in the house. What happened to her?
We don't know what her story is, so she's just out there. You don't know. You grew up here, and you don't know anybody. You over 20.
The neighbors.
You know nobody.
What about the neighboring houses, the farms?
Didn't you go to socials and parties or church?
I was going to say, it seems like there'd be a tight-knit community where folks would know each other.
We're from Doylestown.
That's
Doylestown
weird.
Don't sound like a big place. Yeah, I just can't imagine her just having her father.
They don't really give us much of a background story on Marion.
No, we don't know about Marion. Her father, her mother is a mystery.
Right, she's a portrait on the wall.
Right.
We assume she died, but we don't know.
Right. And thanks to her mother, your birth isn't impeccable. Right. So obviously she wasn't one of them.
That's all we know.
Maybe he married a Russell type person.
I was just going to say.
Money. Because he wanted money.
She fell for the okie doke because apparently he was a rake too.
Yeah.
Could not keep it with money in his pocket, women and drink, both. So he's an alcoholic and a whore?
General Brooke. Excuse me.
Right, the late General Brother Henry.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, but yeah, Mary, she went to bat for her daddy. Do not talk ill about him. Address him the proper way, Tom Rakes.
And ma'am, why does Aunt Ada hate Daddy? Agnes. So she explained. Ada explained.
Right.
This is what he did.
Now you know.
And I tried not to make it too vivid because apparently it was a lot more horrible than she described it. Do you feel the same way about Daddy? Why don't you feel some way about Daddy? What is wrong with you? Mm-mm. This man done thrown you in it. You said as soon as you got to the house, she was condescending. This man just left you to the wolves and you had to go live with people who you thought, according to him, were awful people.
Great, right.
They didn't come to the funeral.
Right.
Oh, God.
That's another thing. So you're not taking your current situation into account. And that is because of your father and his...
Exactly. That's how you got
dishonesty too.
Yeah, he's a liar.
You feel trapped. You just trying to live your life. They won't let you work. You don't understand all these silly rules. Well, you're here because of him,
That's
darling.
it. That's because of Daddy.
And that's
feel this? Daddy teased me and joked and made he made me laugh. he's cool.
Julian Fellows calls characters. You said Agnes is hard or she's a bully we like. She's bossy. I wouldn't call her a bully.
She's not a bully.
But as she said too, Ada didn't discuss this with her.
No.
It's not that she needed permission, but you straight up invited this woman, I was going to say child, this woman to
live
come live with us.
Right. And you know that you live in somebody else's house. You live in your sister's house. This was the house that her husband bought.
Yes.
So this wasn't your house.
No.
After he died, you moved in, and now you asking somebody else to move in. You could at least tell me you sent the letter.
Right.
Like she said, she thanks you for the tickets you didn't tell me about and the letter that you didn't show me. I mean, come on.
And she is coming post-haste.
Right.
She on her way.
I'm so excited.
You could have told me, little sis. Dang.
Yeah,
so I understand how Agnes is a bit irritated by this whole situation.
She doesn't know her. Neither of you know her.
Like she said, we don't know her at all, of course.
Right.
You don't.
Nope.
And since she was apparently primarily raised by her ne'er-do-well father, you don't know what's been instilled in her, what kind of habits she done picked up, and she just all up in your... in your house and in your world.
Yeah.
She is, as she said, she's my niece. She's not going to be a governess. So while she's breaking the rules and not following directions in their world of society, she is representing your family.
She is everybody knows who the Brooks are.
Yes.
They know who the Brooks are. They know who the Van Ryans are. Everybody knows. Everybody in town knew. That little man from Connecticut knew about what was going on.
Right.
McAllister was like, I know of Miss Brooks. Well, yeah, I ain't met him. Everybody know you in town. Everybody know who you are. Because they all a bunch of gossips.
Like, hello, you're clever to know who I am.
Right. I know everything. Even the person who's ostracized know who you are.
And she just running around town doing
chasing behind this simple man and buying gloves. Going to Bloomingdale. Do you have anything in Fawn? Will you stop buying gloves, woman?
Oh my goodness.
They have so many things in the store. Well, why you only buy gloves? Buy a fan. How about that?
No one's making you go buy anything.
Mm-hmm. So confusing. In all of Doylestown, they didn't. Where did you go shopping for in Doylestown? You actually went shopping in Doylestown? Okay.
She didn't do nothing in
No, doesn't seem like it.
Mm-mm-mm.
And let's talk about Miss Bertha, who Julian Fellows apparently just loves her character because you think that they're going to let you in, but you have to kick the damn door in. Is that a wonderful thing?
Why must she kill? So here's my thing. I identify with Larry.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
He's fine, but also just on a human level, his character.
Yeah.
When he said he believes things should happen naturally, talking to Marion at home. I think he has more sympathy and understanding towards what his mother wants than Mr. Russell does.
Oh, definitely.
It's obvious. He just thinks this is absolutely ludicrous and doesn't understand why she's wasting her time.
Yeah.
He gives no flying cares at all. Larry, though, like we were talking about, for some reason, he's handsome young men who talk.
Right.
He is invited to all these new people's things. But he still is not geeked about it and doesn't care about it like his mother.
I'm not trying to become Carrie Astor's friend just to become her friend because she's Carrie Astor.
But he goes and he participates and he follows the rules and does whatever. I think he is a nice middle ground between his mother and father. If you just be easy, Ma. Yes, you've put certain things in place. Eventually, it will happen. He could have been her key.
Exactly.
To get in.
If she wasn't so pushy.
But she does not understand. She is not gracious.
Nope.
And she has no grace.
And she's not subtle about anything. She makes it clear when she's giving you a dig.
Well, that's what I mean by grace.
Very clear.
Whether it's she has gotten a dig, some kind of insult on her.
Yeah.
Or if it's her putting it out on you. You just, lady.
I don't really think that Julian Fellows, again, we're supposed to always root for the person who's trying to do something against upper class people. You're richer than all these people. Mm-hmm. You bought all this junk from Europe to this big old gigantic gaudy library houses
who are going bankrupt.
Right, so they let you buy their junk.
All their desks and clocks.
All that money on all that tacky stuff. I don't think that that's a good quality. I don't think it's a wonderful quality to want to be a social climber and to want to get into, you want to be, but you want to come up so you can keep other people out. You don't want your sister. I don't want my old friends. Whoa, I'm telling you, that smacked me in the face when she said that. I mean, Gladys and Daddy Russell gave each other the side eye about it, but that was like, you don't want to see your sister or your old friends because you want to be in a new club with all these stupid women. That's
Bertha
ridiculous.
Russell is the epitome of selling out.
You're right.
She is the classic definition of a sellout.
Yep.
That's the crux of it. Just like with royal families. That's how that works. They set it up so that You can't navigate around, as Danae Benton would say, you can't navigate those waters.
No.
You were born to who you were born to. And it got started in the past whenever it started in the past.
And this is how they look at things.
That's
period. It might seem stupid in 2023, but it's not stupid to them. And it's still true to some extent.
It is.
You know, people with a whole lot of money are still looked down upon because of where they come from and what they do and what their background is. They'll take your money. They don't have any respect for
old money is just newer now. It's still old money and new money. New is just newer. That's now Vanderbilt is old money. No. Rockefeller's old money. That's all.
Their money might be old and dead on top of it. They ain't got that much money because all their kids spin it up. But the point is, your name means nothing. Exactly. Yeah.
And hence the shirts.
And when you're let me talk about your girl Marion again. I'm sorry.
Oh no, she's my girl.
Yeah, she's your girl. At the train station, we said this before. What woman, if something is going on around you, the first thing you do is clutch your purse? Why Peggy got her purse, but you don't? They marked her. They looked at her and thought, she looks so unsophisticated. She by herself. She got her stuff sitting all over the place. That's the target.
That's what I saw too. Yeah. She said, I was thinking about when I traveled to New York City by train earlier this year. Everything was all around me the whole time like this. When I took a nap on that train, my purse was my pillow. And I had my arm through the strap. We were talking about oversharing too. You have just met this woman and not officially met.
No, because she didn't know her name.
You didn't know her name when Bannister said, and this is.
They never even properly introduced themselves.
Y'all thought y'all was here for this voyage. Y'all gonna take the ferry to different places. Because Peggy, I guess, had a connecting ferry or something like that, or they had to stop for the storm, whatever. And y'all was just gonna go on about your way. Why are you telling her there's nothing to go back to? Why are you telling her on the docks that your daddy died and all of this? She didn't ask for all this information. And when she asked Peggy, I noticed she gave her as little as possible and kept it vague.
Definitely.
I grew up in Brooklyn. My parents are there. I have some business to attend to.
I'm not going there.
I will get the money from you in an envelope. She didn't. Why are you telling her all this stuff, Marion?
Because that's what people do. They think you care about what's going on with them. And I don't know how many people who watch this understand this, but I mean, certainly it was true for people who grew up when I grew up, and this is long before that. Black people didn't tell white people their business. They just did not.
Stranger or not.
They did not tell you their business. That just isn't something you do because it's a trust thing. You just don't do that.
I'll say somebody learned from history. Peggy got the memo.
That's not what you did back then. You would not have done that. There was no kumbaya and wasn't nobody doing that.
And she wasn't keeping secrets from you.
Marion,
wasn't. Not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but it was like she does harbor this certain resentment towards Peggy. One, because for some reason she thinks they're friends. Your friend Lee. It's not the same thing. Y'all did have a bonding experience coming over here. You're not friends. But two, what makes you think if you were friends that she just has to spill all her guts to you?
That's not what friends are.
Keeping secrets.
No, she's just not telling you all her business. There's a big difference between keeping personal stuff and keeping secrets. There's no secret from you. My life has nothing to do with you. I'm not keeping a secret from you. And this is just my business.
Entitlement. I said Bertha Russell is the epitome of selling out. Peggy Scott is the epitome of code switching. That woman, because they said they came in from the storm, hats and hair all disheveled and shit. I've never found myself in such an odd predicament. I think it was like she hitting all them finial consonants.
I appreciate your kindness. She know how to act and when to act.
All in front. I read I think it was a blog post or some comment. Somebody was saying they didn't understand why Peggy and her parents had a Southern accent. And
did they understand why McAllister had a Southern accent? Because they come from the South, idiot.
And I was thinking, number one, you act like people can't move. But number two, you don't know how accents work.
Right.
You don't know that children of immigrants who go to English or go to English speaking, whatever, go to American schools, how they have a bit of an accent because they're raised in that household.
And that's what you hear. You hear the real Southern in the daddy.
Yeah.
You hear kind of a genteel Southernness in the mother.
Yeah.
And Peggy has a very Northern way of speaking, and you can hear that slight Southern accent, like so many people who grew up where we grew up.
I was gonna say it's only with certain words that
all
you can
these Southern
hear it.
people who came to Detroit,
the Great Migration,
don't speak like that. They don't sound like they're from down south. But boy, that little twang in school, a lot of people had that. I mean, that's odd that it was revealed that her father was a slave. Why would you think they wouldn't have a Southern accent?
This was a white person who said it, and somebody explained briefly, and they said, "Oh, okay, I guess that makes sense." But again, we lived it.
Right.
Your father grew up in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Everybody hears us talking right now.
Yeah.
When I get really excited, I just heard it. I just said, "Everybody hears us." That was from me living in Washington, D.C. for 6 years. That's been forever ago. People pick up things and they lie dormant when you get relaxed around certain folks, when you get excited about certain things. It just comes out. And when Peggy went off on Marion, when Peggy is talking to her mother or her father, and she's
a different person.
Chilling, it is a slightly different dialect.
It definitely is. She knows how to act around. She needs to get along. Like I said, she knows where she lives.
Mm-hmm.
People get murdered, disappear.
For no reason.
Whatever. So she's a black person in Manhattan.
Yep.
She knows she has to chill. She can't buck up.
No.
There's no way she can. But she could do it in Brooklyn, and boy, she did. But that's for another time.
She's alone in the city on the Upper East Side. Yeah. Just like all this stuff when they invited her down to eat and stuff. I was thinking I would have been quite nervous.
Oh,
I just
me too.
met this woman. These old ladies seem cool, but you don't know them. They seem cool. And now you going down in the basement and eating with these folks. They could have put something in her food.
Strange people.
Anything. She was like, I don't want to be a nuisance. Oh, thank you very much. Yes, I drink coffee. She know her place.
Yeah.
Armstrong came out trying to, oh, hey. Oh, no. All right. Excuse me. Pardon me. Go ahead, miss. She not trying to ruffle no feathers.
You bitch.
Lock my door
before you kill me in my sleep. Anytime Agnes, with her particular self, can bark out, just write a letter. Say thank you. No feeling. She don't have to do it.
And she just signs it.
Right. She can do it.
That's a level of trust, too.
It is. It's a lot of trust.
Faith in her skills and also trust in her, what would you call it?
In her character, because you don't know what kind of letters. Because at first she said, oh, they'll just be dull ones when she was just helping her out. But now you're doing all her correspondence. Mm-hmm. You are in her business and financial business. A lot of those things are asking for money.
She said bankers.
Asking for, all kinds of stuff. And very sensitive stuff. If you're writing to a Secretary of State, or
vice
whatever,
president of something,
right? That's not you. That's a very high level of trust in your skill and your character. That's a big deal.
Yeah, discretion. Yeah, that's what the word I was looking for. Yep.
Well, let's talk about Bertha and George.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that George, like you said, he doesn't care about any of this.
Mm-mm.
He supports her in whatever she wants to do. Will this make you happy then? Well, I don't think they're going to be your friends. Well, be careful. Don't get your feelings hurt. Well, I support you, but I don't know what cards you think you put. Just support her at every step. Mm-hmm. Only one time did she support him.
Yep.
She shows him momentary sympathy that's very fleeting.
Yep.
Very fleeting. Okay, now buck up and get it together. You know, he comforts her. He talks to her. He after that at home catastrophe, he went in the room and he could have gone in that room and said, "I told you these people weren't coming. I told you to invite the old crowd. What did you think was going to happen?" Nope. Yep. He no, I told you so. Just all lovey dovey.
He could have left alone.
Yep, he could have just went to his room and said, "I don't want to deal with this drama."
Exactly.
No, he's all trying to make you feel better and
gave her a pep talk before the at home.
Yep.
How you ready for your trial
by hospitality?
And again, everything she says when he pays her a compliment, any of that stuff, it's either she doesn't acknowledge it or it's some neutral, like you say, tangential. It's not really a direct response.
Well, except when he said, "Do you think your mother would be proud of you?" Well, you loved her. That wasn't nothing.
She said thank you to that.
That was a big deal.
And like you said, boom, it passed and then it was on to the next thing.
She was doing.
Oh my goodness, he done hyped her up for it. Well, he's like, "Oh wait, you dressed? Do I need to go get dressed?" "No, I'm just want to be early." "Oh, all right. Okay. Well, let's. Oh my goodness.
Holding her hand and pepping her up. And
I know I'm not enough.
No, you're not. I'm glad you know, boo. You're not enough.
We are on the same page.
No, thank you for acknowledging. When she went to when Bertha went to before they had the bazaar, when she went to the meeting
for it,
before the bazaar with them two horns on her head, I was looking at all the feathers. We saw Chamberlain's feathers high up in the air.
Goodness,
but Miss Morris has a row of brown feathers going all the way down. And those are huge feathers.
Yeah.
And then Miss Morris. And then Aurora has this big plume.
Yep.
These people are crazy.
These are real birds.
You are killing birds.
There were no fake. And that's what I was telling someone who I turned on to this show. I said, when you're watching this, please remember there is cotton, that's poor people fabric.
Yeah.
There is lace, whatever you make it, linen, cotton, lace, whatever. There is linen, there is silk, there is wool. Yeah. All these furs are real.
Yeah.
All these feathers are real.
Yeah.
When you see that shiny satiny on all these hats, and like you said with Bertha,
those are worms.
It's not. They did this right. The yardage with the stuff and the bustle in the back. She has pleats with things, and she has layers of
just
things,
extra fabric.
You're just showing. That's all it is.
It's just show that I can afford to waste money on all this.
This is real silk and cotton velvet. Yeah. That stuff costs.
I have velvet on the front of my dress, velvet on my sleeves, velvet going down the side, velvet on my hat.
I was going to say on the hat, I have velvet gloves. All these buttons. Stuff was functional, yes. However, they had hooks and eyes.
Oh, yeah.
You could have done that stuff in the back. Again, someone has to cover all these buttons by hand.
Cover buttons.
To match with whatever the heck it is.
The fabric it is. And I'm sure the women who made the dresses, they made a living because these women are crazy with all these clothes. But they didn't make the kind of living they should have made.
I was going to say, they got paid. How about this? Whoever is at the top.
Yeah.
Whoever was actually covering the buttons. No, they did not.
They didn't. All that fine needlework, all that work.
And another point, when I was talking about Julian's opinion and remarks on Bertha, same thing on George. Even I forgot the actor's name, but when he talks about
Morgan Spector.
Right, Morgan Spector, his own character.
Right.
I don't know who you're comparing him to when you say ruthless or when you say exacting his power and stuff. Later on, to me, what the alderman did was way more ruthless than him. He came to this railroad man and said, I want to buy your railroad. I'm going to give you this much. No. I'll give you this much more. No. How many terms do you think he's supposed to do that?
Just because I'm rich, I'm supposed to just keep offering you money over and over and over again, and maybe one day you'll say yes? I don't have to do that.
He ain't got time, and he ain't got to. I will show you how rich I am. Right. I will little red hen this, and I will do it myself.
Yep. I've got a railroad, and pretty soon you're not going to have one.
And the reaction is, he's so ruthless. That wasn't ruthless. To me, that was just good business sense.
That's the way all businessmen act, as far as I'm concerned. That's what they do.
Exactly.
Why would he be any different than anybody else?
And most of the time, they don't offer you a fair deal in the first place, and they definitely don't come back with a higher counter.
Mm-mm.